Hey guys, so I did a little bit of shopping whilst I was away house sitting. It's kind of silly to shop for things when you're not there to receive them. But yeah, so I've opened all the packages and I would like to share with you guys what I picked up. I picked up quite a lot of face products and brushes mostly, and quite a lot of eyeshadow palettes. So I'm going to start with the brushes. If you're not interested in brushes, feel free to just pass on this video, but I'm just going to delve right in because I got a bunch from Morphe, and I'm going to start with the powder brushes that I picked up. I got 3 powder brushes. I got the M551, which is like it's almost like a huge foundation brush. It's like a huge paddle tulip shape. It's got a good thickness to it. I used that today to set my makeup and I really like how it lays down powder. I have had a couple of hairs come out of it, but that's because it's brand new. I do still need to wash these brushes. Next up is the M527, which is, I believe, is a goat hair brush. I could be wrong. I will annotate it if I'm wrong. It's very similar to the 551. If anything, it's a little less tulipy, it's a little less splayed, it's slightly firmer. I haven't actually had a chance to use this one yet, but it looks like it's going to be really fun. You know, because brushes can be fun. You know what I mean. It looks like it's going to be decent. And then we have the M400, which is even more densely packed. Again, it's still sort of like a paddle tulip shape. These bristles are really soft. They're a little bit softer than the 551. They're not quite uniform, but that's, you know, it's Morphe. You can't expect perfection. It's a lot more of a rounded top. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to use this for. Again, I could just use it to lay down powder, but how many powder brushes does a girl really need? I suppose I could get away with using this for bronzer maybe. We'll have a look-see. I got some sort of blushy, bronzery type brushes. This one I'm super excited to try out. It kind of reminds me of a Tom Ford brush that I've seen lots of people use. This is the M523, and this is quite a like a buffer brush, like a sculpted buffer brush. As you can see, compared to these powder brushes that I showed you earlier, it's got much shorter bristles. I think it would be great for cream bronzer, possibly foundation if you wanted to, maybe buffing on finishing powder, that kind of thing. I'm really excited to try out this guy. Then we have the M403, which I have 2 of already. I freaking adore this brush. It's my favorite blush brush ever. This one isn't quite what I expected it to be. I thought it would be a bit rounder of a brush rather than this tulipy shape. This is the M462 and it's a dual fiber. I'm not entirely sure what I would use this for. Probably foundation or maybe powder foundation, because the bristles are a bit too long, I think, for maybe blush or that kind of thing, but I think for finishing powders or foundation this might work out well. I also got a bunch of eye brushes. I got 2 of this guy. This is the M213 and this is just a tiny ditty shader brush. It's perfect for inner corner work, laying down color, maybe if you wanted to get under the lower lash line. It's beautiful detail. Like, you could probably conceal or define the lip with concealer, define the eyebrow with concealer. It's a handy dandy little brush, definitely. I picked up a bunch of the M513. This is sort of like a domed crease brush. How many of those did I get? I got 2 of these. As you can see, I've already used one. It's perfect for crease work. Like, I was looking for a good crease brush from Morphe, and I bought like 3 or 4 previous that weren't quite right, but these ones hit the nail on the head for what I'm looking for out of a crease brush. They fit my eye perfectly, and there is the style of crease brush that I like to work with best. I also got two of the M541. Really like this brush. It's a lot more, it's less dense. It's, well, yeah, it's slightly less dense than the 513, but the 514 is more of a rounded tip. It's slightly pinched, and it's perfect for definition or getting stuff over the lid or blending out lower lash line. So I'm really excited about those guys. And lastly, I got these bad boys. I got 5 of them. I love this brush. This is the M433 brush, and it is the perfect sort of MAC 217 style brush that you can just lay down colour, blend it out, get in the crease. It's your all-in-one and done eye brush. I freaking love these things, so I have 5 of them because I found myself constantly reaching for the 2 that I had, constantly having to wash them, finding myself wanting to use them for multiple colours and I can't. So yeah, I got 5 of them. I got a bunch of brushes from Makeup Revolution. I got the Ultra Metals kit. It was like a gift set for Christmas. I think you got all 5 brushes for like £20 or something. I got the... oh, they don't put the names on them. I'm pretty sure this is the crease brush. This one is the powder brush. I love it though. Like, admittedly, I put off purchasing these because I thought they do look a bit cheapy. They do. I'm not even gonna lie. They look tacky and cheap and a bit naff, but they're actually really nice. The bristles are really, really soft. I thought they were going to be really plasticky and scratchy, and they're actually, I mean, there's probably softer things out there, but for a drugstore brand, they're pretty freaking soft. But as you can see, I've already used this one. I used it for bronzer today. It blended beautifully, picked up gorgeous amount of product. You know, because an amount can be gorgeous. What am I even saying? The crease brush, it blended out really, really well, and again, picked up product really well too. Which makes me really excited to try out these other ones. We have the flat contour, which is sort of like a short bristled sort of buffer brush. We have the blush, which is just a smaller version of the powder brush really. And then we have this one, which is the foundation, ultra contour foundation brush, which I'm going to take out because it's triangle shaped. I've never seen a triangle shaped brush or used one. I'm guessing these are supposed to be like rip-offs of the Real Techniques metal brushes or whatever, but this is the contour foundation brush. It is a triangle. I'm not sure if this is going to actually be any good. Like, the bristles on this one are very plasticky. They're soft still, but they're very plasticky, and I don't really like the feel of them. But I'm guessing that's because this is meant to be a foundation brush, and synthetic fibers don't absorb as much moisture, which, you know, it should mean you get more foundation on your face than in the brush, but I don't really like the feel of the bristles on this one. I'll have to try out and see. I'm not going to judge it. I'm going to give it a go and see what happens. The other thing that I'm super excited to try from Makeup Revolution are these things. I got the toothbrush brushes. They look so freaking cool, and this one feels so soft. I've already thrown away the box for this one, so I can't remember what one it is. I think it's the large oval face brush. And then we have the regular oval face brush, oval cheek, and oval shape. They had eye brushes as well, but I don't understand how these would work for eyes. I can grasp the concept for face. For eyes, I think is a bit much. But yeah, I'm looking forward to actually trying these on my face. There may have to be a first impressions of me using these, just so you can see how stupid it gets. Lastly, from Makeup Revolution, I picked up one of their sponges because I wanted to do a little road test of all the beauty sponges out there and give them a bash and let you guys know what I think of them all and what ones are good, what ones are bad, and all that jazz. While we're on sponges, I picked up the Boots version of the Beauty Blender. It's kind of weird looking and cheap looking, kind of like the ones you'd get from like eBay or something. It was only like £1 or £2, so you know, if it's bad, it's bad. If not, you know, I gave it a try. I did get an actual beauty blender. I begrudgingly bought a beauty blender. I've never owned one in my life. I want to know what the fuss is about. What's so amazing with these, that the £2.50 little triangles, like these ones, these are the ones I usually use. These are £2.50 for a pack of 8, I think it is. And you know, I just buy a new pack every 3 to 6 months, just whenever they start, you know, like this one's starting to rip and break. That means I need to get new ones. So way cheaper than this. You get one of these and they're like £16 or something. Actually, I've got the thing here. Yeah, £16 for one of these, and you have to wash it between uses and stuff, so this better be freaking amazing. It better be. I also picked up a multi-pack of the Real Techniques sponges, and these were $17.99, and I get 4, you know, for, you could get a beauty blender, or for £2 more, you could get 4 sponges, you know. I've used this, I used it today, and it was really good. I feel like I should be like astounded by these things, but they're just the same as using those triangles. Like seriously, they're no different at all. I didn't think they would be. Well, I hoped they would be, but I always had my reservations. That's why I waited so long to buy them. But they work. They're good. They're nice. If this makes you happy over buying these, then knock yourself out. But as far as I'm concerned, you'd be as well just buy the triangles, to be honest. I also picked up some brushes from Real Techniques. I picked up a new blush brush because I use my blush brush a lot. I use it for face powder, and it's constantly needing wash, so it's nice to have a second one. I picked up 2 of the powder brushes, which I use for bronzer. Again, I use them quite a lot. Sometimes I like to use different bronzers, or sometimes it's getting a little bit too dirty and I need a new, while I'm waiting for it to dry, you know. It's good to have other ones, plus they're handy for my kit, that kind of thing. Again, the Expert face brush. I like to use this for foundation, I like to use it for cream bronzer. So yeah, it's just handy having an extra one. And same with the shading brush, because they were 3 for 2, so I needed something to make up the offer, so I got one of these guys. Although they look different. Well, I don't know if these are actually the same brush. If they are, what did they do to them? Because, you know, that. And then there is the 2 powder brushes. They're not the same. Like, I knew they'd changed the ferrules or whatever, but they're so not the same. It's like, it's not as dense. Or maybe this one's just super splayed. No, they're definitely not as dense. I mean, I get that this one's new and whatever, but I don't think there's as much. Like, just putting my fingers in it, I can feel there's more fibre in here than there is in here. it's floppier and all that. It's a bummer. I also picked up the No7 Flawless Finish sponges. These are a lot more of like a latexy type sponge. These are like the very classic type of foundation sponge, so I will give those a go as well and let you know how they differ. And I picked up the powder brush and the blush brush from the No7 range, which are stuck shut with these little plasticky bits, so I can't actually tell you how they are. I haven't opened them yet, so I will have to do that soon. Lastly, we have two from EcoTools. I love EcoTools brushes. Do they have on them what they are? Yes. This is their Stippling brush. It's sort of like a rounded, very thinly duo fibered. So it'd be alright for like bronzer or like finishing powder, blush. You could probably do foundation with this as well. And then we have the blending and bronzing. You could probably use this for bronzing. I think it's a bit big for bronzing. I say that after having said I use this for bronzing, but you know what I mean, like I don't think you'd have as much, because this has a shape, whereas this is just flat top almost. You don't have as much control over it, I'd think. Don't know. It's not quite what I thought it was going to be. I think it would be a good powder brush for finishing powder, that kind of thing. But once I use them, you'll get to know my actual opinion on them. So those are all the brushes I picked up. I know it's a lot of brushes, but I have my favourites, and I've bought more of my favourites so that when I wash them, I have ones to use the next day. I'm sick of putting myself in a position where all my brushes are drying and then I'm like using really awkwardly shaped brushes to do my makeup the next day. So, as I said, I will be using those brushes in upcoming videos, and I'll let you know how they perform as I go. If you have any other questions about any of them, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.